There's a certain comfort in knowing your neighbors. They're the people you wave to in the mornings, the ones whose porch lights guide you home at night. But what happens when the person living just a few steps away is hiding something sinister? Sometimes, the monster doesn't lurk in the woods or the shadows of an alley. Sometimes, it lives right next door. When I first moved to the outskirts of a city, I thought I had found the perfect quiet neighborhood. The houses were spread out, the streets empty, and silence filled the air. Then came Todd, a tall, older man with patchy hair and a polite smile. He introduced himself as my neighbor and even mentioned his wife, Sarah. A few days later, he invited me to a neighborhood dinner at his home. I arrived at his house expecting warmth, laughter, maybe even a friendly meal. Instead, the house was dark, shadowy, and silent. There was no food, no people, no Sarah, just emptiness. That's when the front door slammed shut behind me, locked in place with 3 heavy bolts. I heard Todd's voice call out, echoing through the halls, his tone deepening with every step as he closed in. I scrambled at the locks, adrenaline flooding my chest, finally managing to wrench the door open and escape. Later, police told me Todd never had a wife. He never planned a dinner. He had lived alone for years. Everything was a lie. They couldn't prove his intent, but I knew. He wanted me in that house for a reason. And it wasn't dinner. For most of my life, my neighborhood had been simple, safe, and familiar. That changed the moment a new neighbor moved across the street. At first, he looked ordinary, but soon, I noticed him standing outside my house, staring. Later, I caught him watching me from his upstairs window, blinds swaying as if he'd just pulled them shut. One night, I woke in a cold sweat, my chest tight with dread. The house was silent, but something felt wrong. I crept to my bedroom door, and through the thin crack at the bottom, I saw it, boots shifting in the hallway. And then, an eye peering back at me from the darkness below the door. I froze, heart racing, then lunged for my phone, whispering into the receiver as I called 911. By the time police arrived, the intruder was gone. But when they questioned the neighbor across the street, his mask slipped. They found evidence of stalking, even internet searches of my name weeks before he ever moved in. He hadn't chosen the house by chance. He chose it because it was across from me. My last move placed me in a small apartment building with just 6 units. Across the hall lived a woman who never smiled, never frowned, just stared blankly, her shaggy hair hanging around a pale, tired face. At first, her questions were merely odd. She asked what time I usually came home. She knocked at 6 a.m., asking if I'd visit her after work. Her voice was flat, lifeless. Each time I declined, she'd turn and slam her door without another word. But one night, I returned home late to find my apartment door already unlocked. Inside, the lights were off, but my bedroom door was open. Standing beside my bed was the woman, her face half hidden in shadow, a kitchen knife clutched in her hand. When I bolted for the exit, I discovered she had rigged the door so it wouldn't open. Trapped inside, adrenaline surged. I fought back, wrestled the knife away, and held her down until police arrived. Later, her family blamed untreated mental illness, but excuses don't erase the image of her standing silently in the dark, waiting for me. Neighbors are supposed to be the people you can trust, the ones who lend you sugar, who watch your home while you're away. But sometimes, the person living next door isn't a friend at all. Sometimes, they're the very thing you should fear the most. Because when your neighbor is the monster, there's no safe distance. There's only a wall, a window, or a thin locked door keeping them away.